for tuning in to Fitness on Fire. This is Josh Graves, I'm your host, and I'm here with Jason Arnold from Alpha Athletics. Jason today is gonna take me through a little bit of a workout and show me what it looks like to work with him.
So we're gonna start out today, we're gonna get the heart rate going first. Once we get the heart rate going, I'll explain, I'm gonna go from a joint by joint approach. I'm gonna warm up the body, neck, shoulders, thoracic spine, core, hips, knees, ankle. From here, we're gonna go right into a warm-up. I'm just looking to see first if we got a nice flat back, got some good flat back. If we don't right here, we're gonna have to work on some postural things here. So we can go into some what's called cat-camel things, but he's got a nice stable spine here. Now go ahead and tighten up your core. Perfect, so his core is gonna be tightened up here, and from here, I got a nice stable core, and we're just gonna move the head up and down. So just move the head up and down 2 times. Good, just warming up this neck area. Now we're gonna take the head side to side. So thoracic spine, sitting all day, anybody with anybody in computers, anybody that's hunched forward, volleyball players, postural things are huge. If you cannot correct the posture first, then you're gonna have a hard time teaching movement, add resistance to it, or even put some speed to that movement. So we're gonna go ahead and get this warmed up and help with this posture. So I'm gonna take his left hand right behind his ear. Now from here, I'm just gonna swoop down, touch my elbow to my other elbow, and then up, squeeze the left side of my back, look up as much as you can. Nice.
I might need some T-spine work.
Nice, and switch sides. Right from there, we'll go into what's called a bird dog. So I want you to extend your left leg out behind you. Pretend like the toe is down, pretend like somebody's pulling this heel, okay? You got a nice strong hamstring here, nice strong line. Now he's gonna take his right arm, extend it out. Pretend like somebody's pulling his arm this way. So basically I'm now stretching things apart. So if you wanna go ahead right into an elbow knee touch, touching the elbow to the knee and then extend. And what we're looking for here, tighten up the abs, we're looking right here as extension. Go ahead and do it again. I'm looking to see if he can fire his glute, or does he extend through his lower back? So it's very simple, go ahead again. So I'm looking to see if he can get glute flexion instead of coming through lumbar. So think about this capsule right here, go ahead. Think about this capsule right here, we're rolling in this capsule instead of moving from the right to back. So I don't wanna see a big dip. I understand that there's a little bit, go ahead, continue. I understand that there's gonna be a little bit, but we don't wanna see a big dip in the back, you know? We wanna move just from the glute. One more, please. Nice, strong hamstring too. Everything's getting fired up. Very good, very good, very good. And relax. Good. Now we're gonna go right from here. We're gonna go right up into a half kneeling position. So go into a half kneeling position, good. Now we call this push pulling. So if I wanna kind of lock the hips in, think about this pelvic bowl that I have. So if I wanna lock the hips in, I'm gonna think about pulling this heel back, driving this knee forward. Okay. Should feel a nice little warm up in this area here. People that sit all day long, people that play, they live in this position. So this position gets tight. This gets tight. And then they want to go squat and they're like, why doesn't it work? Why doesn't it work? This is too tight. If I want to run and extend, I got to extend open from this. If I want to jump and extend, I need to be able to extend my body. So this is one major place right in here, hip flexor area, that we're gonna go try to get some extension going on. So he's got that foot pushed back, he's got that knee pulled forward, and now he's gonna take his hands behind his head. As we breathe in, let's get some air going in here too, so breathe in as much as you can and rotate to me. Nice push forward, nice squeeze of that left glute. And all the breath out, right forward. Very good. I always think of this whenever I train. How can somebody mess it up? Because I gotta know how they can mess it up in order to change it. So I'm always thinking about any of the things that we use. How can somebody mess this up? Pretty common. Glute squeezing isn't pushing forward. I can squeeze, that's squeeze. That's on, up, on and off. So it's just learning where the muscles need to be squeezed instead of thinking about forward and backwards. So nice job. We explore while we're squatting. We move heavy stuff while we're deadlifting. Okay. When we were kids, we explored when we were squatting. Got down on the floor, we looked around, we played around, we kind of sat there. You ever seen kids do this? Kids are squatters. Kids are great at squatting because they just get around the floor and they just play around. When we want to pick something up, they deadlift it.
Big prime mover.
They deadlift it, yes. But if we can't get the hips to be mobile or whatever, we might have some little back pain. So that pelvic bowl, we're gonna go right down to that. So we hit the core, thoracic spine, we're starting to get into that, and now we can go into what's called squat to stand. So we actually go reverse from this. Okay. If somebody has a hard time squatting, I don't want to take them from the top down. I want to take them from the top bottom up. Because that's how we learned. When we primed ourselves, when we learned, that's how we learned, from the bottom up. Let's go left leg first. Left leg. Good. Right leg. Grab the toes. Lock the legs. Nice, stretch the hamstring. Now we're using this to crank us down. Pull down, crank us down underneath that. Very good. Here, if you can, let's go ahead and just take your hands in front of you instead of praying up. Just bring them down right here and push your knees out with your elbows. Nice. So we're getting him. Now we're getting him into this little bit of posture here. If we want to progress that again, I would say we'd go up and up with the hands.
Yep. Now, my squats are great when I've got a kettlebell in my hand for counterbalance, but in this position here, I'm struggling to stay upright. My T-spine's crazy rounded, I can feel it. And then I feel like I'm gonna collapse backwards, right? So my butt's lifting in the air, and I feel like my hips are on fire. So I could use some help.
I can sit here all day long. This is what they did in China. They hung out like, okay, go rest.
They got their toilets underground
rest.
too, right? And I've read that these countries have way less hip dysfunction, low back pain, lumbar surgeries because they use their hips correctly.
Yeah, correct. I think this is also a place where a lot of people miss. They miss it. If I have ankle deficiency, if I can't go, and then you hear this all the time. You hear this, no knees in front of toes. Take a baseball bat. Where do my knees go? In front of my toes. Serve up a volleyball. Where do my knees go? In front of my toes. Tell me when it doesn't happen. So I have to have mobility of the ankle, and it's called dorsiflexion. So it's pretty simple. We can go ahead, go down to one knee for me, please. Okay, that's perfect. We're gonna take this leg, open this up, and bring this heel right underneath the knee. Perfect. I'm gonna have him grab his ankle, not his shoe, because if he grabs his shoe, he'll slide out of it. So I'm gonna have him grab his ankle. And from this position here, I'm gonna have him try to drive his knee as far as he can while pressing his heel down. You're gonna feel a nice stretch going on in the backside here. We're trying to increase this angle, or decrease this angle, sorry. Increase the knee coming over and decreasing the angle here. That's called dorsiflexion, and then back. So we'll just rock it back and forth a couple times. Nice, and then other side. And then the last thing, come on up, Josh. And the last thing for any volleyball athletes, for landing. Landing is huge. They also say too, earn the right to jump. I think that too many people are going out and they're jumping right away. What if they can't land? One of my guys, he's over in China right now. Perfect, he said this perfectly. I don't know any ACLs that tore in mid-flight.
Makes a lot of sense.
When do they tear when they land, or they tear when they apply force to the ground? So if I cannot learn to apply force into the ground, or decelerate my force, my body weight into the ground, I'm gonna have a hard time. What's the first thing that takes force when you land? Your ankles. Your ankles, definitely. So that has to be able to absorb you, okay? And then from there, the rest of it, and then get into a nice landing. You see this a lot. You see this all the time. Land, woo, land. To me, that's a ticking time bomb. You might make it throughout your career and never have a problem. You might not.
Most likely not.
I don't like those odds. So we're gonna teach landing, we're gonna teach jumping. But before we get into jumping, before we get into jumping exercises, or anything that fires this posterior chain, I wanna just make sure that he landed well. And how do I do that? I saw his squat. I saw what he was able to do. I got everything warmed up.
Great information. I think I got some cool stuff for me to work on personally. Again, guys, Alpha Athletics, if you're looking for that scholarship, if you're looking to take your game to the next level, if you're looking to fix your movement, I trust this guy. I've learned a lot from him today. I get a chance to be around him sometimes in the industry, so I've learned a lot from him already. Jason, thank you so much for your time, and we really appreciate it on Fitness on Fire.
Thank you, I appreciate it. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely.